Alright, hello everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about the Sumeru promotional video that was recently put out on the Genshin Impact official channel. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Now for today's video, I'm going to be specifically talking about one of the very first things that Kusanali opens up with in the video, and that is the whole world running on a loop thing. So in the video, she quotes by saying, quote, "Everything in this world runs in a loop." So what exactly does Kusanali mean by this quote? What does she mean by the fact that everything in this world in a way runs in a loop? So based on my interpretation, Kusanali is basically saying that Teyvat is a world that is cyclical in nature. This obviously means that certain phases repeat at regular intervals. So what exactly would these phases be? So for example, at least in Teyvat's case, we could say that these phases can be defined as sort of like the rise and fall of nations as well as human independence or innovation. So for example, the primordial order being overtaken by the second who came, which we can assume is Celestia, then Celestia with the Skyfrost Nail and Dragonspine, and also their actions and the actions of the people of Conria, which led up to the Cataclysm. And now currently there's the rise of the Fatui, as well as the Abyss prepping to overtake Celestia or the Heavens. These concepts, as well as the world being cyclical in nature, is very similar to how the seasons work on Earth, for example. So remember also that the sibling has been through this world once. They've talked about the fact that they've already taken a journey through this world at least one time. And in their eyes, they've seen essentially the truth of the world, which is why they won't stop us and that they're letting us explore the world in its entirety to gain our own sense of the truth as well as develop our own opinions about Teyvat. In a way, this is almost insinuating that we're also a part of this loop, and that at the, I guess, supposed end, we will also be part of sort of the end of the next phase or the next loop within this world, which is probably had to be relating to the Tsaritsa basically enacting her grand plan. We may end up fighting Celestia, we may end up fighting our sibling. There's a lot of stuff that could potentially happen at the end, and it's all basically just one big loop that is just bound to happen again and again in a way. Now, just because it is cyclical in nature does not mean that the same exact things happen over and over again, but rather, in my opinion, I think it's more so that just general things happen in that certain shifts in the way nations function and are run in this world are bound to change over time. Now this begs the question of, why does Kusanali even bring up such a point in the very first place? What does her even saying this mean for us, I guess? Well, this is mainly because the loop is already, I'm guessing, currently in effect, as I briefly explained earlier. Humans are once again gaining their own independence as Archons begin to give up their positions and allow their citizens to chase their dreams and aspirations freely. We see this with Venti getting his Gnosis taken, and to be honest, I honestly think he kind of did this on purpose, but that's begging for like a whole other side conversation or explanation video. We see Zhongli, a more blatant example, literally willingly giving up his Gnosis to the Tsaritsa, and him just deciding to explore as like a humanoid form, just wandering Liyue. And then of course in Inazuma with Raiden Shogun, we obviously more directly challenged her with her ideals and made her confront her way of thinking of how to run Inazuma and what her ideal of eternity is, and now it is an ideal that allows humans to chase their aspirations freely without any restrictions, which is very different from when she was enacting the Vision Hunt decree. And now with Sumeru, now this begs the question of, well, what will this have to do with their nation's independence, as well as how the people, I guess, may be breaking free, I guess. Because in Sumeru right now, there is a lot of stuff going on, and in my opinion, there's probably some information control happening, and this especially has to do with the Akasha system that is implemented in Sumeru. And so I feel like a lot of the people's independence, or I guess increase in their own independence, may end up having to do with wisdom, or I guess how they achieve it. This may include substantial changes to the academia, more changes to the way that their entire system or their ideal of how wisdom functions in Sumeru. There's a lot of potential theories about that, so I'll just lay that part to rest as well. And also, again, as I said earlier, remember that specifically the Fatui and the Abyss are rising in power and they are plotting to conquer the heavens as revenge for the events in the Cataclysm. So, alongside this rise in power of human independence, once again, we're then also seeing side organizations being brought up that are then also planning to bring a fall to, I guess, a quote unquote nation, and in this case, this quote unquote nation being the heavens or Celestia. And it's all just, I guess, one big entire time loop where certain things and events are just bound to happen over and over again. And it's very similar actually to how Honkai works with their universe, where Hershers are basically in a way bound to be born over and over again in different eras, in different civilizations, and whether they bring great destruction or go rogue or all these other things, they're always bounding to exist in the universe, and all humans can do is just continue to advance and try to do better to be able to prevent, or I guess defend themselves against the Hershers and their conquering of the world, or I guess more so the destruction of it. So this concept of time loops, or this concept of specific events happening over and over again, very cyclical in nature, and I think this is what Kusanali is alluding to with this promotional video. Alright, and that brings to the end of this video. Like I said, this is more of a short video, but I really wanted to bring this point up because I feel like it's very important to understand this concept and understand what she is trying to say with this message, because I feel like this message could very easily be taken a different way. And so this is just my personal opinion as well on what she is trying to say in this video. And if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like on the video, and until the next video, bye bye.